Definitely didn't expect to be making this video, but here we are.
Yeah.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell, I had COVID. Definitely didn't expect to be making this video, but here we are. Basically, I just wanted to make a video about my experience and my symptoms and getting tested and all of that fun stuff, especially since I don't really see this whole global pandemic ending anytime soon. So I figured the more experiences out there, the better, especially because I didn't have any like respiratory symptoms, which were really big in the beginning of lockdown of signs of COVID. I didn't have like any sore throat, any coughing, none of that. So I figured this may be helpful to some people if they have similar symptoms. This could be the little push to go get tested. All right, so I actually have all of my symptoms and the days I had them on my phone, so I will probably be reading off my phone a lot, but I just kind of wanted to start with the days I was sick and the symptoms. Basically, I was sick for about 8 days. I was feeling mostly normal on the 8th day, but I still would say like I felt kind of sick, which is like a really long time to be sick. I don't know the last time I have felt sick for 8 days in a row. Like, that was insane. I did quarantine for 14 just to be on the safe side, but just going in with the first day, the first and second day actually were pretty similar. On the first day, I woke up and I honestly just felt super hungover. I didn't drink any alcohol the day before, so I knew it wasn't a hangover. I kind of just had a really bad headache. My body was kind of aching, not like the body aches I had the days following. I just felt sick, you know? I felt like I just needed to lay in bed all day. I honestly didn't even think it was COVID. I thought it was just like one of those 24-hour, 48-hour flu type things. I don't know if you guys have ever had a sickness like that where you just, you know, stay in bed for a day or two and you're better. I thought it was that. In my phone, I said for day 1, really bad headache. I felt weak, body ache, just felt sick, slept terribly. Honestly, the entire time I was sick, I slept terribly. And then day 2, I said same as day 1, my headache was worse. But my body aches kind of didn't really start kicking in until day 3. So for day 3, I said worse headache, body aches, loss of smell and taste, body aches all throughout the night. So sleeping from day 2 to day 3 is when my body aches really kicked in. I've seen a couple of like posts on like Twitter and Instagram about the COVID body aches and people like experience them. They're real and they're painful, but basically day 3, like I mentioned, is when I lost my smell and taste. I don't know if I lost my smell earlier, but I definitely lost my taste on day 3, and that's kind of when I like realized I should probably smell something and see if I can still smell, which I couldn't. So I don't know if I like lost my smell on day 2 and then my taste on day 3, because I wasn't really paying attention to my smell, I guess. But for sure, day 3 I lost my smell and my taste, which is so like underrated as a terrible symptom. Like, not being able to taste any food is horrible. This was also the day that I started losing like my appetite, which, if you know me, I can eat and it takes a lot of food to make me full. So the fact that I wasn't hungry, didn't want to eat, just wasn't me. I've never had like a loss in appetite with like being sick. I know it's very common for some people. For me, it's not. So that was kind of weird. And I kind of knew this because I wasn't really waking up hungry, and I also wasn't eating much in the day, so I should have been waking up hungry. But when I woke up, I just felt so tired and sick, and food just was the last thing on my mind. And I basically was eating to like live. I wasn't like eating because I was craving something or, you know, I wanted to cook how I normally am. It was weird. So the night between day 3 and day 4 was absolutely awful. I swear I didn't even sleep. The worst night's sleep I had since getting sick, and like, I don't know, as long as I can remember. But basically I was up like every 30 minutes. I couldn't fall asleep because of my body aching. I don't even know how to describe it. It was kind of like a combination between like growing pains, like an internal like bone aching growing pain, mixed with like stretching too far, and not like the stretching that like feels good, but like if you're trying to touch your toes and you're stretching farther than you're flexible and it like hurts. that kind of stretching, if that makes sense. But yeah, that was all over my body and I couldn't do anything about it. Laying down was not comfortable, sitting up was even worse, but I basically just had to lay there and be in pain all day. It was not great. I was taking Advil or Tylenol and that was barely helping. But as for the symptoms on day 4, I said it was my first day waking up without a headache, which was great and I loved that. But my body aches were the worst so far. No smell and taste, a little headache throughout the day, but not bad. I also want to mention that this might be from like caffeine withdrawals because I didn't have an appetite. I couldn't taste anything, so I wasn't having any coffee. So I don't know if my headaches before this were like from caffeine withdrawal or from COVID or combination of the two. Probably a combination. I noticed that the days that I didn't wake up with a headache, I would kind of get a headache like later in the day. But yeah, I just thought I should note that. On day 5, I wrote that I woke up with no headache, less body aches, but still hurt all through my legs and lower back, and no smell and no taste still. So instead of it hurting like everywhere, like through my arms, it was mostly like the lower half of my back and through my legs. And it basically just like went down from there. Like my body aches would hurt less. So like instead of my lower back and my legs, it was just my legs the following days, if that makes sense. Day 6, I wrote my appetite was coming back, no headache, minimal body aches, no smell, and I put my taste was kind of coming back. Basically from day 4, I was getting better, everything was kind of getting less, but my body aches and my smell were definitely the 2 symptoms that lingered the longest. On day 7, I said I woke up feeling fine, a little bit of ache in my lower legs, but not bad, no smell, no headache, I can taste more, and appetite is back up. And then for day 8, this was the last day I wrote down symptoms. I said I felt perfectly normal, still can't smell, taste is almost like normal, appetite is normal. And I think that this was like the first day I felt hungry in the morning, and then the last days when my appetite was coming back, I was just like getting hungrier sooner than the days before. I just want to say my smell still isn't like up to par. It's not perfectly normal. It's coming back day by day, but this is definitely the one symptom I have had since being sick, and I still had it when I got tested, and I've still got a negative test result. When I did talk to the doctor, she said with the patients she's talked to, it comes back varyingly. I read some stuff on my own on the internet saying it could take anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks after you're sick, which I'm hoping it's not, but you know, we will live. But yeah, it's coming back day by day, so I think that's a good sign. Moving into getting tested, finding an appointment was actually a lot harder than I thought it was. I live in the San Diego area, and so my boyfriend and I, who I was with, who also got symptoms, but nowhere as bad as mine, we started looking the first day I got symptoms just to be safe, and we looked at drive-up appointments through like CVS. They were like all booked. We called around, and basically they said since cases are rising, since things are opening back up, a lot of people are getting sick and booking up all the appointments. And so we basically just had to keep searching every day. And I think on like the 3rd day of me being sick, we booked an appointment through like an urgent care for like a week after. So if we're counting the days by the first day I got sick, I think it was like day 11 is when I finally got tested. And it was like 3 days of me feeling perfectly normal. I still self-quarantined for 14 days, but on day 11 is when I went and got tested. I was honestly super nervous to get tested. I've watched YouTube videos about what it looks like getting tested. It doesn't look pleasant. You always hear like it felt like they're touching your brain. I'll insert a lovely video of me getting tested right here. As you can see, didn't look super comfy, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, honestly. Didn't feel like she was touching my brain. It definitely wasn't comfortable. It made my eyes water a little bit, but it basically just felt like she was in my nose, but like higher up in my nose. I forget what it looks like in the video, but it kind of just went, I would say like right here, like a little below my eye level, if we're like measuring like that. It definitely was not as bad as I was thinking it was. We did a drive-up appointment testing and like the rapid testing. We got a call saying we were negative, which I kind of figured, but I also didn't really know since I was feeling normal, but I still didn't have my sense of smell at that point, like at all. And so I didn't know if I would still test positive, but she basically just said to still quarantine until 14 days, which we were kind of planning on anyways. She said that even though it's not a positive result, she was almost positive that we had it. She said we can get like an antibody test in a week or 2, but I don't really know how important that is now. The doctor herself even said she thought we had it. She said the no smell and no taste is like one of the most prominent symptoms that she has seen in different COVID patients, like more so than certain respiratory symptoms. But anyways, that was basically my whole experience experience with it. It's been a couple weeks, probably about, I don't know, like a week and a half or 2 weeks since I got tested, and I feel perfectly normal except for this little nose right here isn't really working perfectly normal, but that's okay. She's coming back. I still have no clue where I got COVID. I have been following all the rules with masks. I haven't been out partying or like going different places. I swear I'm at home like 90% of the time, or at the grocery store. I'm hoping this was helpful to some people, whether you're just curious about, you know, what it could look like, or if you have the symptoms I had, maybe just go tested to be on the safe side. But yeah, that's kind of all I have. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe down below. I don't usually make COVID videos. I hope I'm not making another one in the future. I promise I'm more interesting and fun in my other videos if you want to look at them. Other than that, I will see you guys in my next video.